day of high tension in France. SWAT teams have cornered the suspects in the Islamic terrorist massacre from Paris last week.
A top leader from ISIS is warning there will be more attacks to come, not only in Europe, but America as well. Heather Sells has the story.
Some 1,500 police officers cornered the suspects early today in this printing house 30 miles from Paris with their hostage, as another hostage situation also unfolded in downtown Paris. The two brothers, Saeed and Sharif Kouachi, told police they wanted to die as martyrs. The two had been under surveillance by French police for years and were on a U.S. no-fly list. In early 2011, the older brother, Saeed, reportedly traveled to Yemen and trained with an al-Qaeda-affiliated group led by Anwar al-Awlaki, the U.S.-born Islamic preacher who was killed that same year in a CIA drone strike. Saeed's younger brother, Sharif, was arrested in 2008 for trying to join up with Islamic fighters in Iraq. While in prison, he reportedly shared a cell with a key al-Qaeda operative. The French-born sons of Algerian parents are the main suspects in Wednesday's shooting that killed 12 people at Charile Hebdo, a newspaper that often made fun of Islam and its prophet Mohammed. In Paris and cities across France, people are gathering to pay tribute to those killed at the French magazine.
I'm an art student. We stress freedom when we study art. This attack is shocking. I wrote on the note that we must struggle for freedom from beginning to end.
Meanwhile, in a rare public speech, the head of British intelligence says that al-Qaeda in Syria is plotting large-scale public attacks on transport systems and famous targets in the West. His warning comes as European spy agencies worry about the increasing threat from homegrown jihadists, especially those returning from battlefields in Syria and Iraq. The numbers are alarming: 600 British, 550 German, and some 1,200 French citizens are believed to be fighting in Syria. The big concern is someday they'll return home to their European capitals even more radicalized and ready to kill. Hours after the massacre in Paris, the terror group known as ISIS, or Islamic State, hailed the two brothers as heroic jihadists. An ISIS cleric reportedly said his group was responsible for the attack, saying, "We started with a France operation for which we take responsibility. Tomorrow we'll be in Britain, America, and others." Heather Sells, CBN News.
Well, this is more evidence that Islam is not a religion of peace. It seems to spontaneously produce homicidal maniacs who want to come and kill people and kill them in the name of Allah and say, all we're doing is jihad, and we're somehow giving the faith responsible for this a pass. You keep hearing over and over again that Islam is a religion of peace. Well, if that's the case, why does Islam seem to produce this kind of radical terror? What's behind it? And just to say, well, this is some radical group or these are insane people, I don't think covers it, because at its fundamental core, it seems to want to produce this kind of thing. It's not isolated. It seems to be happening wherever there are Muslims. There seems to be this radicalization, and then it seems to lead to murder on a regular basis. The other thing here is, we're looking at it as a free speech issue, and this is somehow trying to stop free speech, and these are radicals trying to do this. Here's a piece of information you may not have heard. The French Council of Muslim Faith and the Grand Mosque in both Paris and Lyon had unsuccessfully sued this same magazine to stop the publication. So they were trying legal means. When those failed, the offices of this magazine were firebombed, and now it's worldwide news. You've got 12 people dead in a massacre. There was an escalation. It started off with a lawsuit. It started off with protests. Then it turned to firebombing. The members of this publication were all under police protection. It did them no good. And at the end, what's so-called religion of peace seemed to want to stop whatever publication they were doing. If you want to find out more about Islam, we've got something for you. It's called Islam, Religion of Peace or War. Why is ISIS literally following the exact words of the Quran when they behead people? What is behind it? What are the verses that they're quoting? Why does it seem to be such a problem today? If you want to know more information, the booklet's free. We can send it to you right now. If you want to download it on cbn.com, or you can just call us. We'll mail you a free copy of it. 1-800-759-0700. Well, in other news, the radical Islamic group Boko Haram has launched another major attack in Nigeria. John Jessup has that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
Thanks, Gordon. Boko Haram reportedly has killed hundreds of people in a deadly assault, possibly up to 2,000 after overrunning a military base in northeast Nigeria. The BBC reports almost an entire town had been torched and that the bodies were left rotting in the streets. Boko Haram wants to establish an Islamic government in the northeast region of that country.